Himanshu, thank you so much for joining us with all of that information. News coming in right now. NCP gears up for Mission 2024 with massive overhaul. Supriya Sule has also been made chief of NCP's Central Election Committee. That's the latest that's coming in as far as the big development which has happened in the NCP today. Supriya Sule and Patel were named working presidents of the Nationalist Congress Party earlier today by Sharad Pawars at the 25th anniversary of the party. That program that took place in Delhi, and now news coming in, more updates. Supriya Sule has been entrusted with a big responsibility. Other than, of course, being working president, she'll also be the chief of the Central Election Committee. Ritwik Bhalekar is now joining me live on this. Ritwik, is this in a way Sharad Pawar passing on the baton to his daughter?
Yes, Ptolemy, we can say that because he has made it very clear from today's announcement that the successor of the party will be none other than Supriya Sule and Praful Patel, but not Ajit Pawar. I must say this because the letter of appointment which Supriya Sule has just received through her mail, has stated it, mentions that she is not just the working president of the party, but she has also been given responsibilities of Maharashtra and other two states. Along with that, the important thing which has been highlighted in this letter is that she has also been given the responsibility of the chairman. She has become the chairman of the election authority of the party. That again means that every appointment regarding the party's major decision in other states when there are elections, and also the decisions which are related to the constitution amendments of the parties will be made in accordance with Supriya Sule.
Okay, Ritwik, thank you so much for joining us with that update. Supriya Sule has also been named chairman of the Central Election Committee of the NCP. Now, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar's daughter and party Member of Parliament Supriya Sule and MP Praful Patel will be working presidents of the party. Henceforth, Sule has been made Central Election Committee Chief as well and given the responsibility of Haryana and Punjab, while Patel gets responsibilities for Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Goa. Now, the announcement was made by Party Chief Sharad Pawar on the 25th anniversary of the party. It comes as a major snub to Pawar's nephew and Maharashtra opposition leader Ajit Pawar, who was speculated to switch to BJP earlier. Now, the BJP has called NCP a dynastic party where power was handed over from Pawar to his daughter Sule. Calls it a great injustice to Ajit Pawar. That's what the BJP has said, saying that the nationalist NCP workers won't tolerate it.
तो संगठन मजबूत करने की जरूरत है। जैसे प्रफुल्ल भाई ने कहा कि राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी इसका संगठन चाहे नौजवान हो या हमारे युवक हो, हमारे महिला हो, हमारी युवता हो, हमारे अल्पसंख्यक हो और हमारे किसान और बाकी सब सेल से सभी लोगों ने मिलकर हम मेहनत करेंगे, काम करेंगे और देश में बदलाव लाएंगे, यही विश्वास मैं आपको देता हूँ।
एनसीपी की एक महत्व की जिम्मेदारी है इस देश में सभी को एक जगह लाना, अच्छे तरह से एक यूनाइटेड फ्रंट बनाना, ये एनसीपी की एक जिम्मेदारी है। शरद पवार साहब उसमें बड़े एक नेता हैं और ये बाखूबी से सब लोगों को समझा सकते हैं और एक जगह ला सकते हैं।
सर, आपके लिए भी बड़ी जिम्मेदारियां है।
हमारे लिए तो जिम्मेदारी है, पार्टी ने जो दी है उसको हम निभाएंगे और पवार साहब का विश्वास जो है उन्होंने हम पर प्रकट किया है, उस पर खरे उतरेंगे।
सर, अजीत पवार का नाम नहीं है, वो एक बड़ा सवाल है, बीजेपी सवाल उठा रही है।
वैसा कुछ नहीं है।
यूनाइटेड है पार्टी,
बिल्कुल यूनाइटेड है।
Shifting focus, Khap Mahapanchayat underway at Haryana's Sonipat called on behalf of the agitating wrestlers. Wrestlers Sakshi Malik, Satyavrat Kadian and Bajrang Punia attended the Mahapanchayat where they briefed the farmers about the talks that they had with the centre just a few days ago. The wrestlers informed farmers that the government was ready to recall cases against them and has assured the filing of a charge sheet against BJP MP and WFI chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh by June 15. But they pointed out that the government was not ready to arrest Brij Bhushan. However, Punia told farmers that if the government didn't meet the wrestlers' demands, they would resume their protests at Jantar Mantar post June 15. They claimed that there was no politics behind their agitation.
जो सरकार ने समय बोला है उसके बाद जो निर्णय अगर सरकार स्ट्रॉन्ग कदम नहीं उठाती तो जो खिलाड़ी जो कॉल देंगे उसमें बड़ा फैसला लिया जाएगा। हम अपनी न्याय की लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं। शक्ति प्रदर्शन वो पैसे वाला है, बाहुबली है, वो हर तरीके से मजबूत है, वो कर सकता है।
सोनीपत में लंबे समय के बाद इस तरह आप लोग दोबारा इकट्ठा हुए, क्या निर्णय लिया गया?
निर्णय यही है जो सरकार ने हमसे 15 दिन का समय मांगा था, 15 जून तक का समय मांगा था। 15 जून तक हम वेट करेंगे और उसके बाद अगर कार्रवाई नहीं होती है तो हमारा आंदोलन जारी है।
तो कल हमने देखा दिल्ली पुलिस एक रेसलर को WFI प्रेसिडेंट का जो ऑफिस है वहां पे लेके गई थी और फिर खबरें आई हैं कि बहुत ट्रॉमेटाइजिंग एक्सपीरियंस था उस जगह पे जाने पे। जी
देखो मेरे रूंगटे खड़े हो रहे हैं क्योंकि बहुत ही गलत व्यवहार है ये कि जो अक्यूज्ड है वो अपनी कोठी पे है और 7 महिलाओं में से एक महिला को वहां लेके जाते हैं बजाय कि वो वहां मौजूद था। तो क्यों हमारे ऊपर ऐसा प्रेशर बनाया जा रहा है? उस
We're slipping into a very short break. Coming up on the other side, India is set to host the 71st Miss World pageant. Details on the other side.
You are watching India Today.
Well, since you've called your book Reflections, let me start by asking you a very basic question. I mean, you've had such a long and storied career. Which part of it do you cherish the most on hindsight? I mean, is it the ICICI stint? Is it your stint as a public sector banker? Or is it the numerous philanthropic initiatives that you have immersed yourself in after your banking career?
It's obvious. I can identify myself only with ICICI Bank till my last breath. Of course, the philanthropic initiatives like Pratham and others are very important. But ICICI Bank caps everything. And that's about my life in banking.
But, you know, I rarely speak to a person who has been a chairman of a public sector bank and a chairman of a very large private sector bank. I mean, you're a rare exception in that case. So let me ask you to tell us a little bit about this perennial debate which is on between public sector and private sector banks. And a lot of people believe that a public sector bank can never run as efficiently as a private sector entity. The financial markets value the two very differently. Give us your perspective, if you will, on how you see through your unique lens as having run both these institutions.
My book speaks for itself. In fact, my book is full of anecdotes about what hazards are there in the public sector banking. Way back in 1969, when banks were nationalized, I felt very happy that banks could have to open branches in the interior of India. But the way in which the state controlled the banks, the state managed the banks, I suppose made me feel depressed. In fact, my tenure in public sector banking was very small. Within 6 years, I left the public sector banking. I'm not counting my State Bank of India days where I was not a chairman. State Bank of India, I was working very closely with the chairman at that time. But if I count the chairmanship of the Bank of India, well, I was very happy to be in the bank and very happy to be with the people. But I just did not like the way in which the government tried to control the chairman and to control. Almost every day you will get a message from there to do this, to do that. That's not the way to manage the bank. And the market is right. in valuing the private sector bank more than the public sector bank. It is not so much about the ownership of the public sector banks that matters. It's the way in which the state is managing the public sector banks that really gives a huge discount to the public sector banks.
Hi, I'm Akanksha here. Hi, I have a question from the policy side of it. You've been doing great work. Everyone at OpenAI has been doing great work. Thank you so much. We've all used the models. But I have a question when it comes to open source AI projects. How do you think, I mean, I do know that you yourself said multiple times that the door has to be let open for small projects so that they can grow up. But there has to be, regulation in some sense because the growth has been exponential as we're seeing. Do you see how can policymakers and governments sort of rein in regulation, at least when it comes to open source projects?
I agree with all that. I think open source is important. As it gets more powerful, we will need some guardrails on it. But I worry about over-regulating and stopping what is an incredible Cambrian explosion of talent and creativity. I think this is going to be the most transformative technology humanity has yet invented. And the countries that embrace it, people that embrace it early, are going to be particularly rewarded. It really is amazing to watch what's happening in India with the embrace of AI, not just OpenAI, other technologies too. And I think we're going to look back 30 years, 50 years, whatever, and say, wow, we lived like barbarians. Life is so much better. When intelligence becomes close to free, and not only that, but when it becomes qualitatively different at what it's capable of, we view our role as we build the tools, we give to all of you, you all amaze us with your creativity and what you can create for the world. So I think that's really going to happen. I think India is already like one of the centers of this, and I'm sure that will continue.
Watching India Today.
For the first time in 27 years, Miss World 2023 will hold its prestigious pageant in India this year. The beauty pageant will witness participants from across 130 countries who will partake in incredible India activities for the coveted Miss World crown. More details in this report.
Miss World 2017 is India.
India has given the world 6 beauty queens in the last 7 decades. But has hosted the Miss World pageant only once in 1996. Now, nearly 3 decades later, the coveted international beauty pageant will return to India.
The enthusiasm we've seen so far and the excitement around the world with so many countries all wanting to be here.
The 71st edition of the Miss World pageant will be held in sunny Goa this year. While the event is expected to take place in November, the final dates are yet to be finalized.
I love India. You know that they've always welcomed us, and it's one of the finest places for youth for all these nations to come together and experience the various areas, the various foods, mostly the conversation with local people, because that's valuable. And I think fashion, the film industry, of course.
Reigning Miss World Karolina Balaska of Poland is excited to hand over the precious crown to the future Miss World in India.
First, I came to India and I saw it as a very vibrant, colorful, but very, very diverse country, which it of course is. Even though it's very diverse, you stand for unity because your values are the same everywhere. You stand for family, for love, for kindness, and for respect. And that's something we would love to showcase to the world.
This pageant is not a one-day affair. It will span nearly a month and will have 130 beauty queens from across the globe.
We are beauty with a purpose, which is really different. We're looking at projects. We work with children. Our fundraising is for children. Our work is with children. My work across the world is when I'm visiting. My life is children. And for me, it's fun to have fashion. It's fun to have other things besides the children, because that will raise our funds for the children.
Representing India at the Miss World pageant will be Miss India Sini Shetty, making this year's competition even more special.
You have to realize that you represent 1.4 billion people. I'm not just Sini Shetty who's going for Miss World, I'm India who's going to Miss World. So there's a lot of preparation that comes. मैं अपने आप को ही एक better version बनाना चाहती हूँ और भारत का नाम रोशन कर पाए. Every second मैं better बनती जाऊँगी और चाहे hope कर रही हूँ कि Miss World का ताज मिल जाए हमें वापस.
6 Indian women have brought the Miss World crown home. And with the pageant being hosted in India this time, here's hoping that this will be India's year in more ways than one. Bureau Report, India Today.
And that's a wrap on this bulletin. For all the latest news and updates, you can log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app. Thanks for watching.
You are watching India Today.
A test of popularity at the grassroots level. West Bengal is set for an electoral warm-up before next year's big Lok Sabha vote. The TMC ruled state goes to panchayat polls on July 8th. Zilla Parishads and Gram Panchayats. 63,283 constituencies spread across the state vote in a single round on July 8th. Results are scheduled for July 11th. In 2018, TMC delivered a thumping victory in the violence-ridden rural polls. It pushed the BJP to distant second. The left and Congress reduced to irrelevance in all three tiers of the panchayat structure back then. It seems different this time, with the TMC under massive opposition attack over allegations of corruption and arrest of several senior leaders. The opposition parties, the BJP and the Left Congress alliance seem prepared to fight it out with renewed vigour. Fireworks have begun. The BJP has sought deployment of central forces, fearing violence in the upcoming elections.
बंगाल में हर चुनाव में कुछ ना कुछ संतरास होता है, हिंसा होता है, पंचायत पौरसभा में ज्यादा होता है लोकल बॉडी में, इसलिए बार-बार हम सेंट्रल फोर्स का डिमांड करते हैं.
On its part, Congress complains panchayat elections have been announced on a short notice, with a short window for nomination filing.
लगभग 73,000 के आसपास उम्मीदवार चुनाव में हिस्सा लेना चाहते हैं. समय दिए गए 9 तारीख से 15 तारीख, 8 दिन के अंदर एक दिन छुट्टी के भी है. ये कौन सा गणित की सहारे में ये लोग एक समय तय किए हैं, जिस समय के दरमियान मान लीजिए कि 73,000 उम्मीदवारों ने अपना नामांकन भर पाया।
The opposition has moved court, seeking central security during the vote and raising its objections over carrying out the elections in a single phase. In response, the Calcutta High Court has observed that the State Election Commission should consider vote dates and that adequate time should be given for filing nominations. The state government and election authorities should also discuss deploying central forces. The TMC has put on a bold face. The ruling party insists that the High Court should issue an observation and not an order.
ऐसे ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग करना है इलेक्शन डेट अनाउंस करने के पहले। स्टेट इलेक्शन कमिश्नर का पूरा पावर है, वो पावर के अनुसार इलेक्शन डेट अनाउंस किया, हमको मानने पड़ेगा।
The litmus test begins on West Bengal's rural battleground before the Lok Sabha vote due next year. Bureau Report, India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
Hello and welcome to Health 360. I'm Sneha Murdani. The last few days or so have been fairly difficult, isn't it? It's getting really hot, and with the summers come certain health problems. In fact, the last time around also we spoke about various health concerns during summertime. This time also we're going to do the same. In fact, this is part 2 of our 3-part series on summer health. This is summertime. It's summertime, but that does not mean that you stop doing all the fun activities that you're doing in winters. You can practice yoga, do aerobics, even go for a jog if you wish to. But there are things you must keep in mind while exercising in summers. And a report is going to tell you what exactly those things are.
It's hot, bright and uncomfortable, and you simply can't get yourself to step out of your well air-conditioned homes. You don't feel like going for a run. Who wants to sweat it out when the heat is already ensuring that? Does this sound like a familiar story? Do you feel lazy, hot and demotivated to get moving in the summers? You aren't alone, but here's why you must work out in summers.
See, we humans are not built to sit and relax. And workout is actually a need for every human. In the summers, I don't think you need to change the exercises. But yes, you can change the pattern. Summers are great for exercising because your body is already warmed up. Summers are also great because the pressure in your joints decreases during summer, which makes it easy for anyone to stay active. Also, summers are great to get shredded. So if your goal is to build muscle, build endurance and lose fat, summers are awesome.
Exercise has loads of health benefits, and research says it reduces chances of heart disease, stroke and diabetes. While the body can get stressed in the heat, some people have recently been driven away from the gym because of recent cases of heart failure while working out.
A heart attack has nothing to do with workout. If you abuse your body with unhealthy food for a longer period of time and then you're asking your body to push to the limits in the gym, body won't take it. All of us has to realize that we work out for 1 hour, but the body functions for 24 hours. How you keep your body in the next 23 hours matters a lot. I would also like to say that every person should go and get its